Mic check, mic check, mic check. All praises to the Most High. Mic check. Good. Put this light back on real quick.
Good.
Con. All praises to the Most High, man. I'm excited about this lesson, man. It's a good one. I was getting these precepts. They was just coming back to back to back. I've always wanted to do this lesson too, so man. But first and foremost, all praises, honor, glory to the Most High God Yahweh, Ba'Shem Mashiach, Wamalak Yahweh Shai. Right, that's all praises to the Most High, and the name of His only begotten Son, our King, our Savior, our Deliverer, who the world calls Jesus Christ. Real name Yahweh Shai in Hebrew. K.O.Y, we back at it again, man. The dynamic duo, we back at it again, man. All praises, man.
Man. All praise, man. Shalom to the family out there, to the Akwas, right, and the Akium, the children, the Banyam, right. Shalom to all y'all, man. That's being obedient, trying to stay in the word of the Most High, reading, praying, fasting, right, and applying these things to your life on a day-to-day basis, man. Shalom. Shalom to those that's putting different sins that you're battling with into captivity, right, and moving forward, hoping and praying for forgiveness from the Lord, Adawan Yahweh, right? Shalom, Ba'Shem Yahushua.
Khan, Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. Right, so this lesson, man, if you tune into this lesson, man, you in a great start right now, right? Because we want to kind of dig in it from the beginning to the end. If you come in halfway, if you come in towards the end, just make sure you rewind it, as much as you can to get back on the forefront of what this lesson is talking about, right? So the title of the video is The Shadow of Good and Evil, right? We all know, being in the shade means being out that heat. Being in the shade means you're in the safe zone, but also being in the shade, being under the shadow of something can be affliction, could be turmoil, darkness, evil, and everything in between, right? So there's two points to that, right? The good of it, being in the shadow of the good, or being in the shadow of the evil, right? Of course, we want to stay on the good side, but what we have to do first is we have to identify what the shadow of evil is in order to be able to go into the shadow of good. You understand? So that's what we're going to go into today. But I want to bring out Psalms 40 just to start it off real fast. Let me share the screen. Right. All praise to the Most High. Who's all up in here right now? God, okay. If you were right there. Dawad, I hope that's you, man. All praise to the Most High. Dawad, that's you. Shalom, King. All right, so here we go. I'm going to start this off with Psalms chapter 40 and verse number 2. Start verse number 1. All right, it says here. Is it on the screen? Yeah, Con. All right, and it reads, I waited patiently for Yahweh, and he inclined unto me and heard my cry. Right? So, of course, being patient means endurance, right? We being afflicted, we're going through all kinds of troubles, right? Tribulations, everything in between. Right, but we have to be patient in that, and when we're impatient, the Most High is gonna, not really hear us as He wants to, right? But if we're patient, He's gonna understand our endurance. He's gonna understand our faith in between that, and He's gonna turn His ear unto us, right? And heard my cry. Verse 2 says, He brought me up also out of an horrible pit, out of the miry clay, right? So when you understand what a pit is, right, no matter how deep you dig it, it always has some type of level of darkness to it, right? The deeper you go, the darker it gets. You understand? So if you fall into a pit, you want to be able to have enough leverage, enough to be able to get out of that pit, right? Okay, I only feel a couple feet in, I can climb out, right? But the more you dig yourself into a deep, deep ditch, the harder it is going to be to get out of that ditch. You understand? And set my feet upon a rock and established my goings. So if you find yourself in a state of trouble, in a state of affliction, always understand that there's going to be a way to get out of that if you're trying to seek it. But if you just give up and you lie in that ditch, if you lie in that pit, right, and just engulf yourself in evil and darkness, the harder it's going to be for you to climb out of that, the longer it's going to take. Right, if you're 30 feet down inside of a hole, right? It's gonna be hard to get up out of there, right? You climbing up, trying to. It's gonna probably take you a couple hours, right? But if you barely feel in that pit and there's a way for you to get out quickly, hey man, do it, right? So you can establish yourself upon a rock, right? A strong foundation, right? You climb out of the pit, now you can just keep pushing. That's why it says here, established my goings, right? Verse 3, and he hath put a new song in my mouth, right? Even praise unto our power. Many shall see it and fear and shall trust in Yahweh, right? So, what does a song represent? A song represents joy, mirth, peace, gladness, right? The song that we're singing right now is everything that's horrible, man, right? Singing unto damnation, singing according to our tribulation, our affliction, right? But there's going to be a time where a new song is where we're going to be singing, and this is going to be established with peace, joy, love, right? No longer suffering, affliction is gone from the night into the morning, right? But we have to trust in Yahweh. One more, verse 4. Blessed is the man that maketh Yahweh his trust, and respecteth not the proud, nor such as turn aside to lies. Right? So you will be blessed. Your goings will be established in righteousness. The Most High is going to guide your path. He's going to guide you to everlasting peace, right? If you trust in him, right? And you're not supposed to respect the proud, right? The proud is going to fall. What's that scripture? A prideful heart be the fall of man, or something, roughly paraphrasing, right? Salakia. But you get what I'm saying, right? Nor such as turn aside to lies, meaning you're not easily swayed by the lies that this world has to offer, right? You got Satan and demons in your ear trying to tell you to go this way, right? No, that's going to lead you back into that pit of darkness, right? You need to trust in the Most High, because the Most High is not going to lie. You understand? He's going to establish you if you trust in him, and guarantee your goings are going to be established in peace, man. Right? You got some, King?
Con, you can hear me good?
Yeah, come.
Con, I just what you was reading on right there, man, it just made me think about it in Songs of Solomon, man, where the Lord said that uh he was and this is talking about the elect, right? It said the elect was going around trying to seek, right, where his lover was, right? The elect. And it says uh when he went out, or when the elect went out to go look for him, he saw a couple watchmen, right? And then at the end of the day, when he left the watchman kind of told him whatever he told him, right? After he left the watchman, boom, there the Lord had found him. So even when we not feeling like we under the Lord's protection, right? The Most High, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, they protect us, right? And I just want to read that right quick. This is the book of Songs of Solomon, chapter 3, verse 1 to verse number 4.
Let me get there real
By
quick.
night on my bed.
Let me pull it up. Salakia. All right, songs 3. Okay, go ahead.
Khan, by night on my bed, I sought him whom my soul loveth. Right? Our soul loves the Most High. Right? This flesh hates the Most High. Right? But our soul loves the Most High. Right? From the womb, he said, I created you to be a prophet unto me. Right? I sought him, but I found him not. I was looking, I was praying, I was searching. I found him not. I will arise now and go about the city and the streets, and in the broad ways I will seek him whom my soul loveth. Right. So in all our walks and paths of life, right, we will seek in the Most High in some type of way, form, or fashion, whether it be in guns, whether it be in weed, whether it be in prostitution, whether it be in pimping. Everywhere that we was walking and moving in this life, we was trying to seek a God to understand. You feel what I'm saying? Whether that God was money, whether the God was drugs, maybe the God was prostitution, right? But regardless, we was looking for something to cleave unto to save us out of the problems and the troubles that we go through, right? And it says, I sought him, but I found him not. The watchmen that go about the city found me, to whom I said, Saw ye him whom my soul loveth? It was but a little that I passed from them, so I moved from the watchman, right? And when we see the watchman, man, first thing we do most of the time, right, we go run up there, man, because the Lord already planted a seed in us to have us know about the Hebrew Israelite culture, right? Before we meet with the Hebrew Israelites on the corner, a lot of times, right, it'll be a YouTube video, a short, right, some type of way. Maybe you saw them once before and walk right past them. The Lord always plant a seed, then call that seed back to grow, right? So it says, the watchmen that go about the city found me, to whom I said, Saw ye him whom my soul loveth? It was but a little that I passed from them, but I found him whom my soul loveth. I held him and would not let him go until I had brought him unto my mother's house, right? Back to the motherland and into the chamber, right, of her that conceived me. Right? Because once we find the Lord, what is that, man? We get our blood covenant back, right? Our cherry get popped again, and now we're married unto Yahweh Shai again, right? But that whole time we was already espoused to Yahweh Shai, right? But the Lord, man, when we came into this truth, we went searching and finding, right? He popped that cherry, man, and he covered us again, right? And now we're under that blood covenant again, right? So I just wanted to bring that out, man, because what you were speaking on was so heavy. That when we cry unto the Lord, right? Let me see. Let me go back right quick. Get to the key point that I wanted over there. Isaiah 41, right?
Yeah, Isaiah 40 and verse number 1.
Yo, yeah, it's Isaiah 40. All right, Salakia. Let me get there right quick. No, it was Psalms. My bad, Psalms.
Oh, yeah, yeah, Psalms. You confused me too when you said Isaiah.
Yeah, my bad. It was saying some good stuff over there, but it wasn't what you said. All right, there we go. Psalms 40 and 1. It says, I waited patiently for the Lord, and he inclined unto me and heard my cry. Right? So the same thing that we seeing, right, with the elect that get this spirit put on them to go search for the Lord. That's exactly what's happening, in the Psalms of David, right? He said, I waited patiently for the Lord, meaning I was looking for him, right? I was searching for him. I was praying for him. Right? I was praying to him. I was praising him. I was fasting, right? But then what happened? And he inclined unto me, and then the Lord found us. It says after he left the watchman, after the elect left the watchman, right? What happened? The Lord found him, right? He ain't had that elect man didn't have to search anymore, right? So, and it just goes to show you, man, how we're under the Lord's protection. When you read verse 3, it says he put the new song, right? Also, that could go into a new statement, right? He put a new statement in my mouth, even praise, right? Even praise and honor unto our power. Many shall see it and fear and shall trust in Yahweh, right? So we see at the end of the day, once the Lord had found us, he popped that cherry again, right? Boom, we back into the covenant. It's time for us to work. And we start to work and work and work on ourselves under the covering of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. And I yield with that.
Con. That's right. That's right. And when you read these scriptures, man, and you really dig down deep into it, line upon line, it hits in every single word, right? If you think on many folds of each thing that it says, right? For example, right, where it says right here in verse number 1, right? I waited patiently for Yahweh, right? Just hearken and really diligently use your mind and meditate just on that alone, right? You're going to get many folds of understandings of what it means to be patient, right? The outcome of being the outcome and the reward of you being patient, right? Then you go to a plethora of biblical accounts of our forefathers and foremothers, how they were patient and the reward that they've gained from being patient, right? like I said a plethora of times, patience is just another word for endurance, right? And right here, and he inclined unto me. Then you go into that word inclined, right? Means he's diligently putting his ear to you. He's being long suffering to you, right? It's a powerful thing when you understand that the Most High is hearing you, right? For doing what? For being patient and enduring, right? And heard my cry. What comes with and heard my cry? Joy, mirth, peace, right? Understanding, right? To seek that, to know that the kingdom is coming, and that you being patient and the Lord hearing you being patient and seeing your works and your goings, he's going to hear your cry, man. Going into that word cry, right? Crying is just not okay, just tears fall down. No, crying comes with a whole bunch of emotions and behind it. And when those emotions come with actions, right? I'm so afflicted, I'm so trodden down in the shadows of death, right? The Most High will incline his ear. He will see that you're being patient through that tribulation, and he will hear you. That's mighty, man. That's mighty, man. Right? But that's what I wanted to bring out, just to start it off with Psalms 40, right? Just to revert it back to the topic that's at hand. Not that this was off topic, right? It actually goes with it. But we always got to hit them with the a good start. Psalms 40, I think, was a good start on this.
Quick point when you can.
Quick point, go ahead.
Yeah, when you can.
Yeah, go ahead. Before I started off.
So like you were saying, and it made me think, man, because I've been thinking about this since the last time I read with my rib. People that read the Bible fast and only read like a newer translation, right? They really they don't. I believe that they don't believe, and I could be wrong. I believe that they don't believe that Yahweh's words are a living word, right? I believe that they just want to get through the chapter or get through the verses. They don't really believe, right, that Yahweh's word is living, right, through Yahweh Shai, and this book is sent to comfort us. Like these scriptures are part of the Holy Spirit, right? And it just makes me think, man, people that just read fast, man, and try to get through the verse, bro, you don't truly believe that this word is living, man. 90% of the time, you don't believe that this is a living word, right? 90% of the time, you truly don't trust in the Lord, man. When you try to speed through his word, man, you got to take this down bit by bit, piece by piece. These words is like a full course meal. That's why it's always in reference to honey, right? Oils, right? Meat, milk, right? Nutrition to the navel, which is vegetables, right? We got a full course balanced meal, but when you eat, you don't just get the stuff down, man. You actually sit there and you kind of like, damn, man, you seasoned the hell out of this one, you know. And we got to stop just reading fast through the word of God, man. We got to realize that this word is really living, and these words should jump off the pages, right, until your digestive tract, man. Right. And I just wanted to bring that out since you was talking about, man, sometimes you got to slow down, right? You got to slow down, man, and
You
really
might
digest what's being said.
you might do that with some quick ramen you make on the thing for 2-3 minutes, so you might just scarf it down. But once you put in the work in, you making a steak, you got some mashed potatoes on the side, you got macaroni and cheese, a little bit of greens, get you a cup of some ice, you know what I'm saying, throw some cranberry juice in there. You're gonna take your time with that, man, right? Because you diligently put your effort into making that. You're not just gonna scarf that plate down. Now let me take a little bit of that mac and cheese, let me take my time with it. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we got to do with these scriptures, right? Don't treat these scriptures like it's just some cup of noodles, man. Right? You got to treat these scriptures like it's a fine dine and dinner plate, and really take your time with it, in the appreciation of the diligence of it being made for you. So you got to take that plate and really appreciate that plate, and really take your time with the mashed potatoes. Take your time with the mac and cheese and the greens on the side. Don't drink all your juice at one time. No, man. Right? So that's what we got to
That's a
do.
real good point, man. Real good
Mhm.
analogy too. I like that.
It ain't no cup of noodles, man. But yeah, let's go ahead and go forward with the lesson. So of course, a shalom, peace and blessings to the three viewers that are in here. All praise to the Most High. So look, man, right? What we're talking about here is the shadow of good and evil. First, we need to identify what the shadow of evil is in order to want to seek the shadow of good, right? So let's go ahead and jump into it with the Psalms chapter 23, right? The classic scripture, right? Everybody should know this one. Psalms 23 and verse number 1, right? Yahweh is my shepherd, I shall not want, right? What does it mean, I shall not want? Meaning you're not going to lack, right? You're not lacking anything, right? Because the Most High, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, is the one that's leading the sheep, right? Into righteousness, into that guided right path, right? And you're not going to lack when you let yourself be led by the spirit of the power, the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, right? Verse 2, he maketh me to lie down in green pastures. Like I said, when you really dissect these scriptures line upon line, what does it mean to lie down in green pastures? Meaning you're safe, no worries, right? The cool, nice breeze, you're relaxed, right? You're not over there watching your back and trembling in fear for wolves because you're inside that gate. Understand?
Mm-hmm.
He
Yeah.
leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness. Come on, see? Oh, praises. It brought it out right there. For his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Right? So even though we're walking in the midst of wickedness, iniquity is abound every corner you turn, right? We're not going to be fearing any evil. Why? Because we're being led by the Spirit. We're being led by the Most High. You understand? Because He's with us. And when it says here, thy rod and thy staff, right? That rod is represents strength. It represents power, rulership, right? Being ruled over by the Spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. And thy staff, right? What do you need a staff for? It's a guiding stick. You understand? They comfort me. So when you're under the power of the Most High and you're letting Him guide you, that's gonna be a comfort to your spirit, your soul, man. That's why it says here, He restoreth my soul. These things bring us back to life. These things bring us out the valley of dry bones, because the valley of dry bones is also in the midst of the valley of shadow and death. It's one and the same, right? If you're operating in the valley of the shadow of death, and you take on its customs and you adopt it and you adapt to the situation, right? And the environment of it, guess what? You're going to become a dry bone. You understand? But the part I want to hear was,
Mm-hmm.
though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, right? We got to find out, what is the valley of shadow of death. Let me get that real quick in to Job chapter 16. Job 16, and I'll start at verse number 12, 13, right? Job chapter 16 and verse number 13. It says, his archers compass me round about. He cleaveth my reins asunder. Meaning what? There's always an enemy around you, right? Whether it's a physical enemy operating in carnality, or whether it's a spiritual enemy of the demons and Satan out there, always trying to get you to go astray, man. Always there to afflict you, right?
Also in your brain,
Mm-hmm.
those
Con.
spirits that's within. Yeah, those spirits that's within is another one too. I just wanted to point that out.
Con, that's what I was gonna tap into right here. That's why it says here, he cleaveth my reins asunder. What is your reins? Your reins is your emotional seat, right? Your feelings and everything in your mind, right? He cuts that in half, meaning you're not all together. You understand? You can't think straight. That's what it means to asunder, to cut in half, right? To break it apart, right? He cleaveth my reins
Right,
asunder
right.
and doth
One,
not spare.
one, one quick point too. When it goes into cleaving your reins apart, right? There's always two choices in everything that we do in life. There's two choices. You have to throughout life. We have to make the best decision on the choices that we have. Every minute, every second of the day, there's a choice that we have to make. Whether you're gonna go right, whether you're gonna go left, whether you're gonna heat up the food or whether you're gonna eat it cold. There's always two ways for everything to go. So what David is going in on right now is that there's two things going on in my brain, right?
Job,
Commit
Job,
adultery, don't commit adultery.
Job.
Go ahead.
No,
Oh,
it was
Job. Yeah,
Job.
Job. Right. There's two ways that you always could go. You could follow the Lord or you could follow the Satan. You follow Satan, right? The adversary is either, that's why he's called the adversary, because he's that second part that inhabits your brain, right? That tells you to do what's wrong, while Yahweh always giving us the right of way to do what's right, right? So I could see, these things when it says they cleaveth, right, and pull them asunder. There's always two ways that it could go, right? And you got to make the best decision. But go ahead, King. My bad. I didn't mean to get in there like that.
You good up. Um, right. So what's going on here is that there's always something around you, surrounding you, right, to get you to go off, to make you become double-minded in your goings, the way you're thinking, and double-minded in your emotions as well. That's why it says reigns asunder. Right. Let's get that real quick, just for edification purposes. Let's get the word reigns. Right. My reigns. It means kidneys, physical or of physical organ, right? Your inner parts, right? Of seat of emotion and affection, right? Kidneys, reins. That's what it means. As the interior self, right? The mind. Boom, right there,
The
right?
deepest part. Yeah.
God. And it says, and doth not spare. Man, you don't give a damn about you, man. You don't care about how you feeling, right? You don't care about, oh, you know what, he's kind of vexed. Let's kind of, heal it. They don't give a damn about you, man. And what is this going into? This is going into the archers that compass you around about these enemy forces, right? The spiritual warfare, right? Also on a physical level, you know how they do us in the realm of carnality, in the physical realm and in the spiritual realm. You know about that, right? He don't give a damn. That's why it says, and doth not spare. He poureth out my gall upon the ground. What does it mean? He poureth out my gall upon the ground. Let's get that definition right here. Boom. Right? Bold or impudent behavior, right? Meaning your behavior, right? Everything that you are to act upon it, he can care less about that. How you act upon it, right? He wants you to go off. He doesn't care about you trying to heal that behavior and heal yourself and to act upon righteousness. Also, in another fold right here, bitterness, right? Don't care if you bitter. Don't care if you vexed. Don't care if you sad through affliction. He can't give a damn about you, right? That's the spiritual side of it and the physical side about it. You understand? They're made to make you go off. Where am I at? Verse 14. Right here.
Hey,
Verse
put it back on the screen.
Okay, Sluggy, the water. Verse 14. He breaketh me with breach upon breach. Meaning it's not enough, man. Right? He can pierce you through your armor, right? But it's not enough. He's gonna breach another hole in you, right? He's always gonna attack your mind, and everywhere he can't get his spear into, he's gonna keep it thrusting you through and thrusting you through, right? To ultimately break you down. Right? Breach upon breach. Oh no, let me stab him one time and that's it. No, man, he's gonna make sure that whole armor come off. Right? The Ephesians 6 armor. You understand? Reading on. He runneth upon me like a giant. I'm gonna let that pass by. God, that thing was loud. Right there next to you, huh? Hey, look
Yeah.
at this right here, man. He runneth upon me like a giant. Meaning he's like a bully to you,
man.
right? These enemies are like a bully to you, looking down upon you. What you gonna do, little homie? You know what I'm saying? Grab you by the damn shirt and be like, "Where's your lunch money, man?" You know, overlooking you and you looking up, right? And what does a giant do? What does a giant do? It casts its shadow on you, right? You looking up at the giant and the sun behind him, right? The shadow of that giant is going to overcompass you, right? That's another form of the shadow of death. You see that? Verse 15. I have
And
so
quick point.
Con, go ahead, King.
And another thing too is that that's how Satan is looking at you, man. Satan is looking down on you, man, trying to see where he could get in at. That's why he says he gets in, right, breach upon breach, right? Every little opening and crack and crevice, right? Satan is trying to see how he could get in. Oh, he stopped thanking upon the Lord, let me get in. Right? Oh, he stopped praying to the Lord, let me get in. Right? He didn't fast today. This is a normal day to fast. Let me get in. Right? Every chance that this giant get, he gonna get in there. You feel what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? It's like a, left hook cross and your arm tired, man. You kind of block one, but the second one hit. You know what I mean? Cause that arm tied. You know what I mean? You got to keep that guard up, man. This fight is a long fight, man, and it takes persistence, man, and endurance. And this giant is not letting up, man. This giant is a giant with stamina that don't get tired, that don't go to sleep. Right? While you sleeping, he trying to figure out how to get you in the morning. I
That's
yield.
right. That's right. That's right. Hey, yeah, man. And y'all can imagine that, man. Y'all viewers watching this, you can imagine that. You know, a giant looking down upon you. That's what it's talking about, right? And the shadow of that giant, that's the shadow of death. That's another form of it,
Mm,
right? Reading on,
mm,
verse 15. I have sewed sackcloth upon my skin and defiled my horn in the dust. What does it mean? What does this mean? Meaning when you have that giant over you and you have that shadow of death over compassing you, you're basically going into the corner in a fetal position, man, because you're not trusting in the Lord and you don't know the way, you don't know how to seek the shadow of good. You're just over compassed by the shadows of evil, man. And now you just go ball yourself up in the corner, put up some sackcloth, put some ashes on your head, and you're damn curled up in the ball and you shake it, man. Right? And what does it mean? I
mm.
defiled my horn in the dust, meaning the strength that you thought you ought to have or that you thought you had has no power over that because you don't know how to get the power. You don't know what to do in a situation when a bully is facing you, man. That giant's over you, right? You defiled your strength. That's what a horn represents, strength, right? Like a rhino's horn. For you know, here's the key part. It says, my face is foul with weeping, and on my eyelids is the shadow of death. See that? See that? Now you just in a position to where you have no power, no control, you don't know what to do, and now you're just shaking in your loins and you're crying, right? Because you're getting bullied by this giant. You understand? And the thing that you're witnessing that all comes with all of those emotions, right? It's just the shadow of death is what you're facing. You understand? But who puts out that shadow of death? Let's go back to the top. The archers, right? Enemies of you, enemies of your spirit, right? And they come upon you like what? Like a giant. See that? Con. You got something else, King, before I move on?
I got precept on that. Job 30 and verse number 15 to verse number 17.
Con, let's see if I got that down. No, I don't got it. Okay,
Oh, start at 14.
con. Job chapter 30 and verse number 14. It says, they came upon me as a wide breaking in of waters.
What is that? That's his calamities. That's those breaches, right? That's that way that Satan think he could get in there. He think he could get in there by afflicting you. He think he could get in there by having your wife or your husband talk to you stupid, right? He think he could get in there, but by any dwindle of grief that get up on you, man, right? So he gonna put these calamities on you and hope that he could continue to break down your barrier of defense of trust in the Lord. Our biggest barrier of defense is being obedient and trusting in the Lord. Of course, having the faith, is right next to that. But remember, man, your obedience and your trust in the Lord, that's your barrier, right? When doubt creeps in, that's Satan, right? So go on.
Con. It says in the
Point.
yeah, real quick. Before you leave the verse, but I got you. In the desolation, they rolled themselves upon me.
So all these afflictions, man, in my desolation, when I done lost everything, when everything is coming against you, they help and put more pressure on you. They help and they say more dumb stuff, right? These people around you tell you what you should have did instead of helping you, right? While you're going through these calamities, man. Where were you at, man? When I needed ointment put on my back because I got boils, man. Right? Where were you at, man? When my sheep was taken away from me by fire and I was sitting there crying. You weren't there to wipe my tears, man. The Lord was, right? Where were you at, man? Right? Because I was desolate, right? And then the Lord, well, Satan send you damn evil spirits to come and vex me more, right?
Mm-hmm.
It says, in the desolation, they rolled themselves upon me, man. You come up upon me while I'm already beat up, busted, and disgusted. You send another spirit on my wife, man, to tell me curse God and die, man. That's already right behind my eyelids, like the bro just read, and I think that was chapter 16, right? It's right behind my eyelids, man. I'm yearning for death, right? Why the hell are you gonna come and try to talk me into doing myself in? That's off, man. You should be trying to ease my wounds, not put your finger in it. Right? Read on.
Con, I just want to make a point on that.
Go ahead.
Um, on that and that first and second part, right? It says they came upon me as a wide breaking in of waters, right? And I want to pull this up right here, right? This movie I seen it a long time ago, but I always remember it, right? This is what's going on here, right? This is how fast and how mighty and how strong, right? They can come upon you, right? Just like this right here. Boom, watch this. Boom, see that? Just like that, man. Even in the cities, you know what I'm saying?
I couldn't see it. You mind running it back?
Yeah, con. Right here. Right here. Boom. It says, they came upon me as a wide breaking in of waters. Just like that. That's how fast they come upon you. Swiftly, right? Strong, mighty. Don't spare nothing. Quick like that. That scene is fast, you know what I'm saying? But even in the cities, right? This is how fast they're going to come upon you. Just like that. Boom. Right?
That's a big ass wave.
Knocking you down, man. Right? So that's how fast the enemies come
Breaching.
upon you, man. Right? Breached. No defenses. You're not strong enough. You're not built up in the spirit enough, right? So we have to try hard in order to refrain from that and be strong and mighty enough to where they can't harm us, man. And how do you do that? Staying in the bosom and abiding in the shadow of the Lord, man. Right? And then and another part real quick before we move on that verse, on the next verse, it says, in the desolation, they rolled themselves upon me, right? Anything can roll upon you, man, right? You could be on the bottom of a hill in a forest and a couple of trees get knocked down on the top and all those logs fall upon you and you die, man. You could be in the sand, right, on the bottom portion of a sand dune, and then an earthquake hits and then all that sand falls upon you, man. Right? You could be in that pit, right? Trying to climb out, right? But you don't do it in a good amount of time, you're gonna get closed in, man. And what do we say in the world, man? Oh, let's go roll up on them, man. That shit, man. They came to the spot and they rolled up on us, man. Like the police, they rolled up on us, you know? So we can't let these demonic spirits, right? Satan and these enemy nations roll up on us. And how do you do that? Gaining your strength, gaining your power, and abiding in the shadow of the Lord instead of abiding in the shadow of death. And I yield that one.
That's right. Read verse 15.
Verse 15. It says, terrors are turned upon me.
So just like the brother just showed with this water, right? Pull the precepts back on the screen, Baba Kushar. Like the brother just was stating with this water, man, it terror, right? It like right here is read like this. It says, "Terrors are turned upon me," right? But it's just like when the Lord says through David that my enemies have compassed round about me. These terrors they surround you, man. Right? You got people that deal with high levels of depression, and what they do is they don't think about any good things that happening in that moment. They just hindering and they gripping every bad thing that's happening to them, right? Same way with these terrors, and the Lord give us up to those different feelings, man. Right? Go ahead.
God. And it says, they pursue my soul as the wind.
As the wind, man. Meaning at every turn of the way, north, east, south, west, right? Every turn, these terrors are on me, man. Right? And that's all I can feel right now, right? It's terrors, right? We in these moment of times where all we can see is the worst in things, we have to look for the best in things because the best is where we see that light. The best is where we see that hope. The best is where we keep our faith. The best is where we stay obedient. The best is where we trust, right? We have to make sure that when we going through these fiery trials and Hashatan is on our heels, that we remind ourselves that these had the Lord, yeah, he's vexing me right now. I'm still alive. Yeah, the Lord, he got Satan on my tail, right? But he gave me another day to worship him and serve him, right? Look at the good in things instead of harping on the bad, right? Because these bad things they'll overtake you, man. You'll kill yourself, right? Go ahead.
God. And it says, and my welfare passeth away as a cloud.
Me feeling okay is passing away just like a cloud, man. One moment is there and one moment is gone, man. Right? And sometimes clouds slowly fade away, right? And this is where Job's hope and his faith is going. It's slowly passing away, man, because he's overly afflicted, right? But even in all these afflictions, Job never cursed the Lord, man. Right? He still said, "Let it be what it may," man. Right? Read on.
God. Verse 16. And now my soul is poured out upon me.
And then when he goes and says, "My soul is poured out upon me," that's all those righteous things, all those things, that trust, that faith, that hope, everything, man. It gotta pour over you as an ointment, as an anointment, as a dedication, right? That okay, the Lord, this is a season, and the Lord is gonna grab me up out of this, man. I'm not gonna be afflicted by Hashatan forever, man. Right? He says, "Many are the afflictions that are righteous, but the Lord Yahweh deliver them out of them all." Right? So it got to come a point of time where I'm gonna be okay. So when he pouring out his soul, he pouring out that faith, man. He pouring out that trust. He pouring out this obedience, right? Like ointment upon his body, man. Go ahead.
God. And it says, and now my soul is poured out upon me. The days of affliction have taken hold upon me.
And the other part about that is that the days of affliction has taken hold upon me, right? But I pour out my soul on a day-to-day basis unto the Lord, man, which covereth me, right? So as these things are on me, I'm looking for that covering. I'm looking for that anointing. I'm looking for that ointment, man, that's gonna heal this, right? So I'm not gonna curse you, Lord, but what I am gonna do is I'm gonna cry unto you. I'm gonna fuss about it, right? And Lord willing, you could take it off of me, right? Go ahead, last verse.
God. Verse 17. My bones are pierced in me in the night season.
And this is where, just like how the Lord worked in the night season, this is Hashatan's stomping ground, right? The night season is the Lord is Yahweh. I mean, is Hashatan stomping ground, man. Right? This is where he play at. This is playing field. And when it says pierce, that's the same way it was saying in 16, right? About the breaches, man. Every time he's just poking a new one, man. right? Till all of my spirit is poured out and I die, right? It's Hashatan just constantly damn trying to get me to bleed out, man, to let all my water loose, man, to give up my understanding, right? That's his mission, man, right? But just like Hashatan is standing over us like a giant, right, covering us with the shadow, right? Yahweh Shai and Yahweh is covering us with their shadow, man. And he have put within us his light, man, to shine forth, to break down these shadows of evil that cover us, man. Right? Read on.
God, and it reads and it says, "My bones are pierced in me in the night season, and my sinews take no rest."
Meaning they constantly working, man. His thoughts is constantly going. Right? Those sinews is the deepest part of you, man. All this mourning and groaning and all that, it's just constantly going, man. It's not stopping. Right? But as we always hear Job do and say, he never ceased to call out and cry unto the Lord, man. Right? And I yield with that.
God. So yeah, man, it's within you, right? Your sinews. A point I want to make right here is well, I'm actually going to come back to this verse because I'm going to use it as a precept for something I have, right? But what I want to touch on is right here is, "and my sinews take no rest," right? So let's get that definition right here. Sinews means a piece of tough fibrous tissue uniting muscle to bone or bone to bone, a tendon or ligament, right? Or the parts of a structure, system, or thing that give it strength or bind it together. So he's falling apart, man. Right. So you have a physical body, but then you have a spiritual body, right? His physical body's probably falling apart. You know what I'm saying? He's just lumped over, right? Sackcloth on because of that giant he's facing in the shadow of death, weeping, right? He's a mess, man. Like we say in the world, man. Damn, he's a mess, man. Right? But also that spiritual body is falling apart as well, right? Your arms are detached from your shoulder, your legs are detached from its kneecap, and you're not going anywhere, and you're not putting your hand to anything, right? Your brain, your spiritual brain can't think straight. Your physical brain is all vexed up. He jammed up, man, and physical jammed up, and he's spiritually jammed up. So you don't want to be spiritually jammed up or physically jammed up as well, man, right? This is a great affliction of plead that Job had to go through, and you might be going through that, right? You brothers and your sisters out there might be going through that, but understand that this is only going to be for a time. You understand? Don't get caught up in the shadow of death. Oh, and if you're in the shadow of death, you have to know the way out of there, right? And I yield on that one. I'm gonna use that first part of that verse when I come back to it, right? All praise. Let me go back now to Job. I want to pull this up right here. Boom. Job 34. Right. This is Job chapter 34 and verse number right here, verse 19. It says, "How much less to him that accepteth not the persons of the princes, nor regardeth the rich more than the poor, for they all are the work of his hands." So the Most High is controlling the workers of iniquity who operate at the shadow of death. He's controlling
Precepts on the
He's controlling the workers of righteousness who operate under the shadow of righteousness, man. Everything is in his what's the word I'm looking for? In his control, in his power, in his might, right? You understand? Go, you got a precept on this verse?
No, the precepts
Okay.
on the screen. Yeah.
The water.
You don't have it.
Salaki for forgetting people, right? Verse 20. It says, "In a moment that shall they die, and the people shall be troubled at midnight." What does it mean? Right, and pass away, right? What does it mean the people shall be troubled at midnight? Meaning at that final hour, at that final moment, and their time is come, they're gonna be troubled, man. They're gonna be vexed, they're gonna be trembling, they're not gonna know what to do, They're going to thought everything that they've operated in was always for good, because that's why the scriptures say, woe to him who calls evil good and good evil, right? So when that midnight and that final hours and that minute hand and that hour hand strike midnight on these workers of iniquity, they're going to be trembling, man, right? And pass away. They're going to die. And the mighty shall be taken away without hand. Meaning what? Meaning without a force of to get them out of that situation. No works that they can do to escape that judgment. Verse 21, for his eyes are upon the ways of man, and he seeth all his goings. There is no darkness nor shadow of death where the workers of iniquity may hide themselves. So they're not going to be able to hide themselves in their ways, man. They're not going to be able to be safe where they think everything's all glamorous, everything is all good, operating in the realm of the shadow of evil, right? In their whole valley and the worlds and the cities that they built up, thinking they can hide from the judgment. No, man. They're not going to be able to hide in that day. Verse 23, for he will not lay upon man more than right. And we understand that what's right, a righteous justice or righteous judgment for the workers of iniquity who operate in the shadow of death. What is that, man? Double to that which is. Give them double that cup, right? That's righteousness with the Most High. That's justice right there, right? That he should enter into judgment, or it's like, for he will not lay upon man more than right, that he should enter into judgment with Yahweh. He shall break in pieces mighty men without number. And that goes to the Isaiah 66, real quick, just a quick bounce. Boom. Right? Without number. Verse number 15. Right here. For behold, Yahweh will come with fire and with his chariots like a whirlwind to render his anger, right? And what is involved in the Most High's anger? Justice and recompense, right? Righteous judgment, right? With fury, and his rebuke with flames of fire. For by fire and by his sword will Yahweh plead with all flesh, and the slain of Yahweh shall be many, right? That shall be many right here is without a number, right? It doesn't say, oh, you know, it shall be 100,000 people. Yeah, the slain of Yahweh shall be 2 billion people and 566 million. And no, man, don't say that. It just means, it just says shall be many, meaning what? Without number. And set others in their stead. You see that? And who's the others in her stead? That's us, man. That's the righteous, the shadow of good. Those who operating in the shadow of righteousness and not in the shadow of death. We're going to be placed in that righteous position, while the heathens and these other workers of iniquity fall down. Right? Verse 34. It says here, therefore, was that all I got on there? Yeah, the last one. Therefore, he knoweth their works, and he overturneth them in the night, so that they are destroyed. What does it mean? He overturneth them in the night. That means at that final hour, right? 11:59, right? And then 12 midnight hits. Now they're over there shaking, waking up with nightmares. Oh my gosh, because you know something's coming, right? You're not being able to sleep comfortable. All these heathens and these workers of iniquity and darkness and evil, they're not going to be able to sleep comfortably. They might be sleeping comfortably right now without no care in the world, right? Not sparing your reins, not sparing your feelings. Archers compassing you round about, thinking they got the upper hand on you. That giant looking down upon you like he got everything made in the world and nothing could touch him. But guarantee there's going to come a time where they're not going to be able to sleep. They're going to be trembling at night, waking up with cold sweats, waking up in the night season. That's why now this is why I wanted to go back to Job 30, right? The 30 and 17, because now we're in that position right now. 30 and 17. My bones are pierced in me in the night season. What does it mean, night season? Meaning we're in the time of darkness for our people, right? We're in the time of nightmares and darkness and chaos and affliction and troubles and hell, man. We're in the night season right now. You understand? Where we're not able to take no rest. So that's going to come upon the workers of iniquity, like it's saying here in Job chapter 34. You understand? And I yield on that one if you got something else. Con, chat. Let me know, chat, if y'all following along with the lesson, right? Tazi Athan pulled something up. This Slakia, this is what I wanted earlier for sure. The water, a man's pride shall bring him low, but honor shall uphold the humble in spirit. And that goes with what I just read right now, man. Right? He's prideful in his time. He's prideful being that giant. He's prideful operating in the shadow of death. And you, Jakes, and you, Eve, you're prideful too, operating in the shadow of death, man. Right? Not trying to seek righteousness, not trying to seek good, not trying to help get your people out of that shadow of death, right? And bring them to the shadow of righteousness and good. You're not doing that, right? You're prideful, and guarantee you're going to fall with him if you keep holding on to this man's societies and this man's valley of death, man. Right? All praise to the water for that precept, King. Go ahead, Doc. You got a precept.
I'm gonna go in when you start talking about them both, because I got two of them that goes in, battling, these two different shadows, or having the shadow of the Most High cover you from the shadow of evil. You feel what I'm saying?
Nah.
Knowing good, doing good. I got something to go on that. So I'm gonna let you kind of just run it till I see an
Okay,
opening.
Con, I got you. Well, I want to tap in right here too as well, real quick. There's a key point I want to make on one of these verses that's going to go into my next precept, right? So y'all bear with me real fast. Um, right here, verse 30, chapter 34, verse 25. Therefore, he knoweth their works, and he overturneth them in the night, so that they are destroyed. Right now, we're going to go to Job chapter 7, right? Verse 1 to 4. It says here, is there not an appointed time to man upon earth? Are not his days also like the days of an hireling? As a servant earnestly desireth the shadow, and as an hireling looketh for the reward of his work, so am I made to possess months of vanity, and wearisome nights are appointed unto me. So we're in the position right now of troubled nights, affliction, chaos in our mind, chaos in our world that we live in as a people, right? Because what does a servant do? If you're serving the shadow of death and you're serving iniquity, you're going to earnestly desire the reward and the comfort of that portion, right? Shade. What's another word for shadow? Shade. You out there working, you doing construction, you've been working under the sun for hot hours of the day, and now you want to take a break and rest under that shade tree, man. Do you want to rest under that shade tree of the workers of iniquity, right? Or do you want to rest under that shade tree of righteousness, man? Which one are you going to go? Just like a hireling looking for the reward of his work, right? Break time to rest, looking for that comfort in this society, you're gonna be troubled, man. You understand? Verse 4, it says, when I lie down, I say, when shall I arise and the night be gone? Right? Because we're in the night season, right? Write this down in your notepad. Night season represents affliction, chaos, trials and tribulations, and everything in between it, man, right? In darkness, engulfed in darkness. That's the night. And I am full of tossings to and fro until the dawning of the day. And what does that morning represent? Light, right? Enduring through the night season to make it to that morning and that light, man. That's what we're aiming for. And that's the kingdom. That's the coming of Yahweh Shai, right? That's glorious bodies. That's everything that comes in that morning, but you have to endure through the night. And it's going to be a role reversal. Those that are dwelling in their morning right now, right? Lucifer, the light bearer, the ruler of this world, who's the guidance of this world, right? Biden and all these heathen nations, right? They're operating in their gloriousness right now. They're in the morning. They're not in that night season yet. We're in the night season. But if you keep enduring and you be patient and you seek to come out of the shadow of death and you're going into the shadow of righteousness in the bosom of the Lord under his wings, then you're gonna see that morning. But right now we're in the night season. Understand? Go ahead, King. You got it. Oh, I glad. But I could keep going on. Let me get one more on that real quick. Let's go to the book of Psalms, chapter 44. Right? This is Psalm chapter 44 and verse number 16. Right? It says, "For the voice of him that reproacheth and blasphemeth by reason of the enemy and avenger." Wait, no, this is not what I want. Hold on. Yeah, it is what I want. It says, "All this is come upon us, yet have we not forgotten thee, neither have we dealt falsely in thy covenant." Right? So just look at the Maccabees, man. Look at that biblical account. How there were all affliction operating in the night season, terrors of the night, terrors amongst darkness in the shadow of death, but they haven't dealt falsely in the covenant. They still kept enduring and being patient in the keeping of the commandments and operating in the path of righteousness. We got to do the same thing. So whatever you're going through in this world, it's the night season, man. You have to understand that it's going to come upon you. But how do you deal with that matter? You have to read the scriptures, meditate on it, right? And it tells you how to operate on it. Verse 18, "Our heart is not turned back," meaning your mind, right? "Neither have our steps declined from thy way. Though thou hast sore broken us in the place of dragons and covered us with the shadow of death." See that? "If we have forgotten the name of our power or stretched out our hands to a strange God, shall not Yahweh search this out? For he knoweth the secrets of the heart." So even though the Most High put us in a position and broken us in the place of dragons, right? These heathen nations, especially damn Esau, and covered us with the shadow of death, we still have to hold on and endure and do not forget the name of Yahweh. And it's not just, okay, yeah, his name's Yahweh. No, man. What does Yahweh represent? What is his characteristics? What did he do for our forefathers and our foremothers? That's all involved in his name, right? Not just, oh, yeah, his name's Yahweh, that's it. No, man, you have to know everything that his name comes with. And don't forget that even though we're in the shadow of death, he's going to make a way out for us, right? Go ahead, Ott, you got it.
Con. So, quick point, man, on this topic, man. Give me Deuteronomy 30 and verse number 16, right? Because the Lord, man, the Lord, he created all things, right? Everything was made by him through wisdom, right? And there wasn't not one thing that was made that wasn't made by him or through him, right? So these spirits that we battle on a day-to-day basis, I know we talking about it like it's a shadow here and a shadow there, but all of this is spirits, man. Right? Like the Lord told us, man, we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but by powers and spirits and principalities and rulers of the darkness and all these different spiritual things that we're facing, right, on a day-to-day basis. So grab that right quick for me.
Con, Deuteronomy chapter 30 and verse number 16. And it reads, "In that I command thee this day to love Yahweh thy power, to walk in his ways, and to keep his commandments and his statutes and his judgments, that thou mayest live and multiply, and Yahweh thy power shall bless thee in the land whither thou goest to possess it."
Go ahead. Oh, that's all of it? Go to verse
Yeah,
19.
God. Verse 19.
Right. So the Lord says his commandments are life, right? So if we're looking at the shadows, we're looking at the shadows of death and we're looking at the shadows of life. So let's read 19. My bad, that's what I wanted.
Con. Verse 19. "I call heaven and earth to record this day against you, that I have set before
So
you."
this day, right? The Lord have set before us these things that he's going to name off, right? But he calls the angels, right, to set this against you or upon you, right? And the earth, man, your earthly tabernacle, right? That is written, right, in the heavens and is written in the earth, right? That you have to do one of these two things, right? But the Lord commands us to do one of them, right? And just like I said, a shadow of death, so there got to be a shadow of life, right? So go ahead.
God, that I have set before you life and death, blessing and cursing. Therefore, choose life that both thou and thy seed may live.
And it was never a choice, man. The Lord commanded us to choose life, right? It was never a choice. But with this flesh, we gotta make decisions, right? That's why I think it was before we started the video. As soon as we started the video, I was talking about every day, right? Every day, every second, every minute of the day, you have to make a decision or a choice on which way you want to go, whether it's right or whether it's left, whether it's death or whether it's life. You got to pick what shadow you want to be under, right? So with this, I want to now take it to Romans chapter 7, right? And let's go to the last three verses. I think I want last five verses.
I got you up right here. Um, okay, I'll start at 20. Romans 7 and 20. It says, now if I do that I would not, it is no more I that do it, but sin that dwelleth in me.
Right. So if we doing things that we don't want to do because we have the mind of the Lord and we walking in the ways of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, if we sin, right, now that we have all this understanding, it's not me, right? It's not my spirit. It's this flesh that I'm in, right? That got me going off. Right. So it's no more I, but the sin that dwelt in me, this flesh. Right. So, but it's a constant battle between life and death, man. Right. Sinning and righteousness. It's that, I mean, there's only two ways for it to go, man. Right. The Lord don't deal in optimal ways for you to judge, man. It's either you judge this way or you don't judge at all, right? There's no six ways to judge a matter, man. There's no six ways of, okay, you can almost have life and then you could kind of get life at the end and then death comes and then as soon as death is over, will you get life? That's confusion and madness, man. The Lord don't deal with confusion and madness. He deal with two things, right? His opposites attract. He deal with opposites, north and south, east and west, right? So in verse 21, he says, I find then a law that when I would do good, evil is present with me, even when I'm doing the law of God, even when I'm working righteousness, right? There's somewhere in the back of my brain some evil going on in there, right? That's trying to conjure up a way to break through and breach the spirit that I'm moving in,
Mm-hmm.
right? And this is why we have to be locked in, right? Like David said, damn, what chapter did I read that in? He said, Lord, allow me to know my flaws, man. Right? That's
That
heavy,
was
man. Allow
that
me to
was Psalms 34 in verse number 17, I believe. Tell me
17,
where
right? Yeah, go
I'm
get it.
feeble at.
Go
Con,
yeah, go get it. Go get it for me, huh? I
con.
think it's 39 or 36.
No, it was 34. I read it the other day with my rib. Um,
Yeah, okay. Because that was the one I went into that lesson on.
right. Um, duh, 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 duh. Is it 39? Now I'm confused. But
Nah, it had to be
give me
like
1 minute.
36.
Yeah, con. I know where it's at. It's 39 and 4. You're right. Psalms
I
39
told you.
and verse 4. It says here, it says, Yahweh, make me to know mine end and the measure of my days, what it is, that I may know how frail I am.
Nah, but watch this. If you go down some, he actually let me see. Hmm. It said he basically said, "Let me know where I'm weak at, right? So that way, oh, I think that is it. Yup,
Yeah,
yup, you're
let me
right.
know
Yup."
how frail I
He
am.
said,
Frail.
yeah, he said, Yahweh make me to know mine end, right, and measure and the measure of my days, what it is, that I may know how frail I am. Meaning, when you read a little bit going into it, right, open me up, man, to what I'm weak at, right, so that way I could live a longer life, right? Look at 5. Behold, thou hast made my days and as an handbreadth, and my age is nothing before thee. Verily, every man at his best state is altogether vanity. Selah. So even when you operating in all your strengths, there is a weakness somewhere, and one of those strengths could turn into a weakness, right? So we got to ask for the Lord to allow us to understand where we're weak at, so we can live a long and prosperous life. Because if you don't know where you're weak at, you'll fall for anything. Right? Let's go
Con,
back to Romans 7. Golly, it's
con.
hot.
Real quick. That definition for frail's Cordell. It means vacant, ceasing, destitute, forbeareth, frail, rejected, right? But when you go up here, transient, right? Where you be able to be breached at, lacking, where you're lacking at, right?
Mhm.
What makes you weak, frail, like your damn skin and bones, you're just bones, you just flick your arm and your arm won't break off. You need to gain some strength, you know.
Right.
You know, you don't want to be we need
Right.
to know
You
where
need
we're
some
weak
milk.
at. We need some milk. All right, going back. Um, Romans 7 and 21 again.
So read 21 one more time. Yeah.
Con. I find then a law that when I would do good, evil is present with me. For
So
I
every
del-
time, even when we doing good, man, right there, back in the back, man, there's this hand that's trying to trying to grab a hold of your neck, man. You feel what I'm saying? So, and that's why we got to do so much good. So evil is so far away, right? They got obstacles and hurdles to jump over to try to get to you. The more you immerse yourself with the works of the Lord, right? They
Mhm.
have more hurdles to jump over. But if you're not constant and fervent in the law of the Lord and the works of the Lord, then there's only one jump and then they're in you, right? So we got to make sure that we fervent in our good works, right? Go ahead.
Verse 22. For I delight in the law of Yahweh after the inward man.
Yeah, so like the brother was going into, right, those inward parts, the gall, right, the fat,
Sinu.
the fat of the innards, the deepest part of your consciousness, right? That's where I'm serving the law of God in that, right? But there's something else that's pulling me another way, right? Read on.
God. Verse 23. But I see another law in my members. So let me start again. It says, for I delight in the law of Yahweh after the inward man, but I see another law in my members, warring against the law of my mind.
And
And
that and
bringing
that's the key point. That's the key point, man, because every day, man, it's a every day, every hour, every minute, every second, there's a choice that we gotta make to move in life or move in death, move in sin or move in righteousness, right? So these shadows, man, you gotta always look forward to the covering of Yahweh Shem Yahushai and not look into that shadow of darkness that leads everybody to the pit of hell. Broad is the way, right? And wide is the gate that leadeth into destruction, but narrow is the way, right? That leadeth unto the kingdom and righteousness and the heaven, right? Go ahead.
It says, but I see another law in my members warring against the law of my mind and bringing
Uh,
me into captivity to the law of sin, which is in my
man,
members.
which is deep inside of me, man. Right. So I just wanted to get in on this. I had another point, but I lost it. But I wanted to get in on this because that's what this shadow, man, thing is going into, man. It's the shadow of life and death, man. Right? It's the shadow of the Lord, the covering of the Lord, or the covering of your Hashatan, man. Right? Which one are you choosing? Right? But I yield right there. I'm gonna try to look for this other precept I had on standby.
God, I want to pull something. I want to pull something. Um.
Damn, what was that?
All
Was
right.
that
Let me.
in Ezekiel?
I want to share something real quick. On here. Let me share the screen. Right. Where's it at? Window. Okay, right here. Boom. You can see the screen, right? My little paint screen.
Not yet.
All
Not
right,
yet.
cool. How about now? Can you
Nope.
see it now? Okay, it might not work. Oh wait, oh it's lucky. Window. I gotta select it. Okay. Oh no, it's not letting me select it. It's all good. Matter of fact, yeah, I can just do it like this. Boom. Entire screen. All right, let me know if you can see this now. See that?
Yeah, con.
All right, so this right here, right? This on top right here, that's the kingdom, right? On the matter of fact, let me do a reverse real fast because we're not on the left hand side, so I never used this app like this, so I'm kind of slow. Matter of fact, yeah, boom, boom. Anyways, let me just paint this. Right, so right here, this is gonna be evil. Damn, I don't want a pencil. I need a brush. Right here, I got a brush right here. All right, cool. Got a brush. All right, so right here is evil. Right here is righteousness. Right. So the top is the kingdom. This is the kingdom up here. This little crown that I got the arrow pointed to. That's the kingdom. You understand? The left hand side, that's evil. The right hand side is righteousness with the R. This is where we're at right here. This is the start, right? When we start on the path to the Most High. So as you're going in this path line right here to the kingdom, right? See this little road I made, right? This little road. You're gonna constantly be swaying back and forth, trying to uh battle the flesh with the spirit, etc., as you're making it to the journey to the kingdom. So what you want to do is you want to kind of get deep, as deep as you can into. Matter of fact, let me undo that. You want to get as deep as you can into righteousness, so that way you're not easily swayed to go into the ways of evil. See that?
Mm,
When you're in
mm-hmm.
evil, the shadow of death, you got to pull yourself back into righteousness as you're on this path to the kingdom. So therefore, if you're operating in evil, just a little tad bit, it's easier for you to come back into righteousness. See that? So you want to kind of get deep into righteousness so you're not swayed. It's going to take longer for you to go into evil like this.
Mm-hmm.
So, but when you're deep in evil, right on the path, look how deep this line is. You're in evil. It's going to be longer and harder for you to get back to that righteous state that you once were. So, what you want to do is this is the lukewarm road right here. We're constantly going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, boom, 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 boom. So this is what you want to do. You want to stay in righteousness, right? You might get swayed a little bit, boom, but you want to kind of catch yourself on the road and bounce back into righteousness. You might get swayed back into the flesh, it's pulling you back into evil. You might dip into evil a little bit, but you want to come back to repentance. This is why we repent daily and pull yourself back into righteousness, right? You might get swayed again, but you want to be on the side of righteousness until you get to the kingdom.
Con,
And if you do it the
con.
opposite way and you're pulled into evil by the time the kingdom comes, hey man, it's not going to be looking too good for you. See that? I just want to put that little thing
Yeah,
out
it's
real
not
quick.
gonna be. It's not gonna be so shabby. Oh, I
Right.
found that precept too. Con, it's not gonna be too shabby, man. Proverbs 28 and verse number 4.
God. Proverbs
And we're
28
gonna
and
read
verse
to verse 7.
God. Proverbs 28 and 4 says, they that forsake the law praise the wicked, but such as keep the law contend with them.
Do what?
Contend with them.
It says those that keep the law contend with them, like the brother was going into on that draft or whatever you call that we're using the pen, right? It When you on the side of the righteous, you will go like you will fall, right? But before you fall, you contend with the people that's doing wickedly, man. Hey, that don't look right. Hey, that don't sound right. The way you walking, you're not moving right. You eating that pork, that's not right. You always gonna contend with the wicked, right? You're not gonna praise the wicked, right? Because you living this life that's total opposite, right, from the ways of the wicked. You feel me? So it's a big deal, man, when we come to serve the Lord, man, to know that you have to contend with the wicked. That's the bittersweet of it, right? This the bitter portion is pleading, right, and going against the wicked. Watch this though, read verse 5. So this is exactly what Paul was speaking on in Romans 7, verse 20 on down, really verse 19 on down. Right, but go ahead.
God, evil men understand not judgment,
Because they
but
don't
they
give a damn about judgment, right?
mm-hmm,
They don't care about judgment. They care about living their best life in the now, man. Right? We could go to Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2, right? Verse 10 on down, or verse 5 on down, right? And it'll show you, right, how the wicked think, you know? Go ahead. They don't give a damn about judgment. Go ahead.
God, and it says, but they that seek Yahweh understand all things.
Because we measure out things just like Yahweh love balance, right? And he like having a balanced lifestyle, and he want us to have a balanced lifestyle. We like balance. We want a balanced lifestyle, right? So what we do, we try to understand when we go to counsel. If you're righteous or you strive to be righteous, right? When you go to counsel, you want to hear everything. You don't just want one piece, right? You want all the pieces. You put it together, you want to know that you fully understand everything that went down, everything that went down. But the wicked, they could give a damn about judging righteously, man. You killed my partner, I'm killing yours. Right? Hold on, though. Your partner went over there to rob him. Right? Can we at least examine the matter? Nah,
Mm-hmm.
nah, that don't matter. That don't matter. It does matter. Because the law tell us if you break in my house and I see you, I could shoot you. Right? But if it's like, and that's at nighttime, but during the day, it'll be wrong. So now we got a murderer on our hands, right? Now you can't ask for the stuff back. I mean, now you can't, now the brother got to give you back what he stole with interest, right? Or what he tried to steal with interest. But if you catch him at night, you could kill him. You feel what I'm saying? So hold on, we got, was it at night? Was it during the day? Let's weigh out the
Mm-hmm.
matter, man, right? Because the Lord loves judgment, but the wicked hate it. So the righteous should love judgment, right? And hate wickedness. Go ahead.
Verse number 6. It says, better is the poor that walketh in his uprightness than he that is perverse in his ways, though he be rich.
It says, man, it's better to operate in righteousness, man, in judgment, right, and justice, right, in something that'll make chaos turn to peace, man. The Lord is a Lord of war, but He also is a ruler of peace too, right? And peace come by you having discernment on how to judge a matter, man, right? But the wicked man, he gonna go on about his day and about his way, and not even think about the right decision and the wrong decision. He's just making impulsive decision as he go, right? And for us, we have to choose life and death, right? Blessing and curse. We got to choose these things. Read the last one, and I'm gonna yield.
Con. Verse 7. It says, whoso keepeth the law is a wise son, but he that is a
Those that
companion.
keep the law, those
Uh-huh.
that Salakia, those that keep the law, they're deemed wise, right? And what they do, they go to the unwise and they try to give them the wisdom. This is why we have to contend for the faith, right? Because we want to make the unwise wise, because we was once unwise, right? Read on.
It says, but he that is a companion of righteous men shameth his father.
And you that always want to go out, party, do the butt shaking and hop on the butt shaking and all this, that, there, and the third, right? If you around all that, man, and fighting and raving and in these damn rock concerts, punching each other, right? You guys that's doing all that, man, you put the father to shame, man. You that get excessively drunk every day, you that smoke weed about an ounce every day or about a damn quarter pound every day, man, you guys, right? You guys are not gonna make it, and y'all dishonor the Most High God because you don't lean on Him, you lean on your vices, right? And we need to give up our vices to be able to lean on the Lord even more, right? So
Mhm.
I yield with that, and that goes
Con,
with choices. Everybody got choices, right? Go ahead.
con. That's right. That's right. That's mighty right there. All right, let me pull these couples. Let me get through the rest of these precepts that I got before we close out. Let me go to the book of Job,
I
right?
got. Let me know when I could get my closing precept.
Con. So yeah, man, we have to identify and know what the shadow of. I should have named this lesson the shadow of death versus or the shadow of life versus the shadow of death, because everybody, Christians, whatever, into the Bible, everybody heard of the valley of the shadow of death, but they don't know what the shadow of life is, man. Right? That's very important. Right? Job 24. I'm already there. Okay, yeah. So watch this. Job chapter 24 in verse number 14. Ooh, watch this. Look, it says, the murderer rising with the light killeth the poor and needy, and in the night is as a thief. Right? So these heathens, these workers of iniquity, these evildoers, they operate in night, just like a thief operates at night. Right? All this wickedness in the world that we see today, it all goes down more heavy in the nighttime. Right? Verse 15, what they say out in the world between the hours of like 12 midnight and 3 a.m. All hell's breaking loose in the damn earth. You know what I'm saying? All matters of wickedness is going down in the earth between 12
The
midnight
witching,
and 3 a.m. With the witching hours, yeah,
yeah, witching hours.
right. So verse 15, it says, the eye also of the adulterer waiteth for the twilight, meaning he's on the lurk, he's on the lookout for that morning light to come so he can go back and hide, right? Saying, no eye shall see me, and disguises his face. So he takes his mask off, right, and shows everything he's about when he's operating during those witching hours, during that nighttime. Okay, let me take my mask off. Let me put on my double swords and let me go out and murder and kill and do all matters of wickedness. And then when that light starts to come back to where he's going to be exposed, he covers himself back up like, it wasn't me. That's wickedness, man. And that's what Esau do. The hand behind the veil. The damn Wizard of Oz, the man behind the damn curtain, right? No eye shall see me, and disguises his face. In the dark, they dig through houses, which they had marked for themselves in the daytime. They know not the light, because they don't operate in light, man. They don't operate in righteousness. They wait till darkness comes and they can go and do their damn evil deeds in the dark, right? During the witching hours or anytime it's nightfall, right? That's how they operate. Verse 17, for the morning is to them even as the shadow of death. See that? So these heathens, even though they operate in the shadow of death, there's still a shadow of death upon them. If one know them, they are in the terrors of the shadow of death, right? And what's that? What's the morning to them? What is the morning to these heathens? What's that light that's going to be a shadow of death unto them? Let's go to Revelation 22, right? Revelation 22 and verse 16 says here, I, Yahweh have sent mine angel to testify unto you these things in the churches. I am the root and the offspring of David and the bright and morning star. See that? So Yahweh is that light, that morning that's going to come and be so bright that it's going to expose them for the evil that they do in the night season, in the darkness, right? You catch a thief breaking in your house, he going through all your damn drawers, you know what I'm saying? But you come in, you flick that light on, but hey, you caught. You thought you was going to get away? You thought you was going to be able to dig through do whatever you want and jump out the window and put that mask back on and hide? No, man. Yahweh Shai's going to come in and flick that light upon them in the midst of their evil, man. See that? And when that light gets flicked on, when Yahweh Shai come back, right, they're going to be exposed for everything that they're doing, right? They're not going to be hiding. And now he's going to be that giant looking over them now. He's going to breach them up, man. Jam them up. He's going to be that shadow over them. See that? So that morning, that's going to cause them trouble, right? The shadow of death, for the morning is to them even as the shadow of death. If one know them, they are in the terrors of the shadow of death. That shadow of death is now Yahweh Shai unto them, those heathens, those workers of iniquity who were our shadow of death. See that? man, reading on. It says, he is swift as the waters. Remember where did we just read that? What I brought out that tsunami video. What was that? Job 30, right? They come. Let me get that real quick. I gotta get it. I don't want to butcher that. Right, Job 30 and 17, I believe. No. Oh man, what was that? Or
it was
yeah, right here, 14. It says, they came upon me as a wide breaking in of waters. In the desolation, they rolled themselves upon me. Right? So there were a wide breaking of waters on us, like getting quick splashed with a giant tsunami is how they roll upon us so deeply to leave us desolate. Guess what, man? Yahweh Shai is going to be swift as the waters onto them. Their portion is cursed in the earth. He beholdeth not the way of the vineyards. Drought and heat consume the snow waters, so doth the grave those which have sinned. Meaning what? They're going to be dried up. Right? Verse 20, the womb shall forget him, the worm shall feed sweetly on him, he shall be no more remembered, and wickedness shall be broken as a tree. Right? And that leads me back to boom, Matthew chapter 7, verse 13 on down. Right? No, verse 15 on down. Verse 17, it says, even so, every good tree bringeth forth good fruit, but a corrupt tree bringeth forth evil fruit. Right? Skip down a little bit. Boom. 19, every tree that bringeth not forth good fruit is hewn down and cast into the fire. So broken as a tree, this tree, these nations, these workers of iniquity, this forest in the valley of the shadow of death, they're all going to get hewn down, right? Because they're operating in wickedness. You see that? Man, that's a mighty precept put together on that one, right? And then I'm gonna now. So look, this is where we're at. So we identified what the shadow of death is. We know what evil is, right? Now we have to go into the shadow of good, the shadow of life, and operate in the shadow of life in order to withstand and contend against the shadow of death. You understand? So now let's go to what the shadow of life is, the shadow of good, right? We're not operating in the valley of the shadow of death. We're operating in the valley of the shadow of life, right? Let's go to Psalm chapter 13. Slakia 17. Oops, Slakia, put 7. Psalm 17. Slakia, that's not what I want. Psalm 63, right? This is the book of Psalm chapter 63 and verse number. Oh man, this whole thing's fire. Yeah, let me start at the top, right? It says, O Yahweh, thou art my power. Early will I seek thee. My soul thirsteth for thee. My flesh longeth for thee in a dry and thirsty land. Right? So we're seeking the Most High early. We're not waiting until we old. Oh, I'm gonna live my life now, and I'll serve the Lord when I get a little older. No, man, we ain't doing that. We're doing it right now, right? Because we're thirsting for the Most High. Our flesh needs to be tamed, and we need to long for the Most High in our spirit, even though we're cast into a dry and thirsty land, the valley of dry bones, which is also the valley of the shadow of death, where no water is, right? No wisdom here. To see thy power and thy glory, so as I have seen thee in the sanctuary, because thy loving kindness is better than life, my lips shall praise thee. Thus will I bless thee while I live. I will lift up my hands in thy name. My soul shall be satisfied as with marrow and fatness. Right? That's that the sidew's coming back, man. You're getting meat on your bones now. Your spirit is getting fed. And my mouth shall praise thee with joyful lips. When I remember thee upon my bed and meditate on thee in the night watches. Right? Remember, the night watches represents a time of darkness and a time of trouble and a time where you're having nightmares, man. Right? In the time where you're laying down in evil and the darkness, we're remembering the Most High and we're meditating on the reward that comes with that morning time, right? And what's that morning? Yahweh Shai, Revelation 22, right? Verse 7. Because thou hast been my help, therefore in the shadow of thy wings will I rejoice, right? So that's the shadow we need to get shade under, not the shadow of death. Right? Not evil overcompassing you and looking upon you. You can't seek shelter in the valley of the shadow of death. You're going to end up dying. You're going to lose your way. You're going to be thrown by the wayside. Right? But we need to operate and rejoice and seek shelter in the shadow of the Most High's wings. That's the shadow that we need. That's the shade that we need. Right? My soul followeth hard after thee. Thy right hand upholdeth me. Right, Con, that's it on that one. Let me go down to Psalm 17 now. Right. So in our time of darkness, the Lord will cover us with the shadow, man. Powerful. Psalm 17 and verse 1. It says, hear the right, O Yahweh, attend unto my cry, give ear unto my prayer, that goeth not out of fiend lips. Let my sentence come forth from thy presence. Let thine eyes behold the things that are equal. Thou hast proved mine heart. Thou hast visited me in the night. Right? Thou hast tried me and shalt find nothing. I am purposed that my mouth shall not transgress. Right? So the Most High, even though you're operating in darkness, right? You're engulfed in the ways of this world that operate in darkness, the shadow of death. The Most High is going to be there to help you, to bring you to His shade. Would you rather sit in the shade, resting under a corrupted tree, or would you rather sit in the shade, resting, comforted under a righteous tree? Which tree are you going to sit under? Right? I know which way I'm going. Right? Verse 5, hold up my goings in thy paths, that my footsteps slip not. Right? So that's powerful, man. So knowing what the shadow of death is and knowing what the shadow of life is, it's a very key thing that we need to know. And our people were never taught that. We always know, the valley of shadow of death, I shall not want it. But what about the shadow of life, man? The churches don't teach about the shadow of life. They don't teach about the shadow of righteousness. You know, this world don't teach you that. You understand? So now I'm going to go to Mark, right? Let's go to Mark chapter 4 and verse 32, right? Let me start here. Verse 30. And he said, whereunto shall we liken the kingdom of Yahweh? Or with what comparison shall we compare it? It is like a grain of mustard seed, which when it is sown in the earth is less than all the seeds that be in the earth. Right? So your faith can be as small, and your hope and your comfort could be as small as a mustard seed, but it's going to grow. It's going to grow to a great stature. Right? Watch this, verse 32. But when it is sown, it groweth up and becometh greater than all herbs, and shooteth out great branches, so that the fowls of the air may lodge under the shadow of it. Right? So you want to have enough faith and enough hope to go under the tree that you're planting with that mustard seed, so that way that tree grows up and provides you the shade of life. You don't want to go into another tree of wickedness when that branches grow up off of that seed, where no faith is, no hope is, no commandments are, evil lurks around, iniquities abound. That tree that you think you're seeking shade under is going to eventually get cut down, and now you're going to be exposed when that morning sun comes, right? Which is Yahweh Shai. See that? So that's a powerful precept on that one, right? You still there? You still? Oh, I left. Okay, let me pull my last one up there. I'm gonna I'll close it out. Let's see. Isaiah 25. Isaiah chapter 25 and verse 25. Thou shalt bring down the noise of strangers as the heat in a dry place, even the heat with the shadow of a cloud. The branch of the terrible ones shall be brought low. So this valley of the shadow of death is full of trees and forests that our people are trying to lodge under and seek the comfort and seek the shade of this wicked world, of this wicked valley, right? Eventually, all of those trees are going to get cut down, and the sun is going to shine on that valley, and it's all going to be scorched, right? Where you thought you was seeking shade at, where you thought you was comfortable and good at, now all them corrupted trees is going to be cut down, and now you in the valley of the shadow of death, being scorched by that burning sun when everything is exposed. You understand? Man, that's mighty right there. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 9 and verse number 1. I'll start at 2. It says, the people that walked in darkness have seen a great light. So when they're cut off and the trees is gone and they thought they were seeking shade, right? Walking in the darkness of the valley of the shadow of death, right? When all those trees get hewn down and there's no more shade and comfort to be provided to them in the world of wickedness, that they're going to see that great light, right? Which is Yahweh Shai, the scorching sun. They that dwell in the land of the shadow of death, upon them hath the light shined, right? And this can be another fold as well, right? When you're exposed and you see the wickedness for what it is in the valley of the shadow of death, that light is going to come upon you, and you're going to want to stay on that light. You're going to want to stay on that right path to guide you back to the valley of life, man, the valley of the shadow of life. See that? God, I got one more, and then you got it, King. Let's go to Songs of Solomon, chapter 2, verse number 3. It says, "As the apple tree among the trees of the wood, so is my beloved among the sons. I sat down under his shadow with great delight, and his fruit was sweet to my taste." Right? So that apple tree is a specific tree, right? A specific nation among the trees, or among the nations of the wood. The wood is the people. "So is my beloved among the sons. I sat down under his shadow with great delight." It's delightsome to be under the righteous shadow, man. Right? Not the shadow of wickedness. And his fruit, right? The wisdom, the teachings, the things that are bared from operating in righteousness was what? Sweet to my taste, not bitter. You understand? Go ahead, King. You got it. That's it for my precepts.
So, as you was bringing out, the key point is that the love of the Most High is sweet, right? The love of the Most High is the covering. That's the long sufferingness. That's what we pray for. We always pray for long suffering, gentleness, strength, endurance, patience, right? Have us to treat each other, with care. Different type of prayers brothers pray, really just to become more like the Most High. You feel what I'm saying? Us being the children of God, right? There's ways that we operate as being sons of the Most High, right? And not sons and daughters of Hashatan, right? So every step of the way, man, we need to realize whose covering, whose protection are we under, right? Because it rains on the evil just as well as it rains on the good, meaning that, you could prosper and not die at being good while being good, as well as you could prosper and not die as being evil. So don't think, okay, the evil is living good right now, they're doing okay, blah, 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 right? It really matters, man, what you choose at the end of the day in your life, man. Do you choose to worship the spiritual demon Satan, right? Or are you worshiping, Yahweh Shem Yahushai? Because regardless, you're gonna be comforted. You're gonna be comforted by one of those powers, right? Satan comforts people just like Yahweh Shem Yahushai comforts people, right? But one of those, their end is utter destruction, and one of those end is eternal life, right? So we really have to be cautious on how we're moving and operating. Get for me the book of Proverbs. Let me see. No, Isaiah 42 and verse number 5. I can't hear you. I don't know if that's my fault or not.
Oh, Salakia.
Uh,
I got you. It says Isaiah 42 and 5. "Thus saith God Yahweh, he that created the heavens and stretched them out, he that spread forth the earth and that which cometh out of it, he that giveth breath unto the people upon it, and spirit to them that walk therein. I, Yahweh, have
so the Most
come."
High, Salaki,
Salakia.
Salaki. Right. So the Most High, man, he's the one that created, or created the heavens, right, and spread out the earth, man. And that earth is going into men, right, mankind, right. And then he says, what he spreadeth forth the earth, and that which cometh out of it, which what comes out of the earth, right? We come out of the earth. We the ones that he chose out of all the earth. We're that pit, right? We're Jerusalem, man, right? So it says then what? And then it says he giveth that breath unto the people upon it. who he gave that breath to, man. I believe it's Genesis, right, chapter 2 and verse 20 something, 26 or something like that, right? He shows us that he gave us the breath of life, man. All these other nations, they got the breath of smoke, man, the breath of death, man, the laws and ways that leadeth unto death, man. But the Lord gave us that everlasting breath of life, man, right? So and then it also said, and spirit to them that walk therein. If you walk in the breath of a Mashiach Yahushai, he's going to give you that spirit that he always created that was within you, right? Read on.
God, verse 6. I, Yahweh, have called thee in righteousness, and will hold thine hand, and will keep thee, and give thee for a covenant of the people, for a light of the Gentiles.
So the Lord gave us these laws.
I don't know what happened with I. Give him a little minute to come back in. Let him cook it up. If not, I'll go in on that topic. There you go. There you go. There you go. There you go. You back.
Read on.
Verse. Want me to read that verse again? Because you cut out in the middle of that.
In the middle of 6.
Yeah, in the middle of 6.
Go ahead.
Khan says, I, Yahweh, have called thee in righteousness, and will hold thine hand, and will keep thee, and give thee for a covenant of the people, for a light of the Gentiles.
So the way that Lord, the hand, right? The hand, like I was gonna go into Ezekiel chapter 2, right? That hand is the same way of those wings, right? Or that shadow, right? That covers us. So when it says that the hand of the Lord shall help thee or aid thee, right? It's saying that the Most High God is gonna cover us, right? But the reason, well, as well as what? And give thee for a covenant of his people, man. Right? Just like I was stating earlier, man, the Most High came back, right? First, he espoused us, right? And then when he came and shed that blood, right, he popped that cherry on that marriage. Now we're married until Yahweh Shem Yahushai again, right? So when we're married, we have to operate right as a wife, man. We have to listen unto the Lord. We got to cover ourselves with the Lord. He is our covering. You can hear me?
Yeah, you cut out real bad. Your
You can
screen
hear
got frozen. Oh man. God, what I was trying to relay is that the Most High called us to operate in His shadow of life, right? Not the shadow of death, and He will keep us, meaning He will sustain us, right, with His hand, being a guide to us, a stronghold to us, right, and give us for a covenant for the people, meaning we're in the position of operating in the shadow of life to be able to pull people under that tree, to pull them under that shadow. He will keep us, he will sustain us under his shadow of life, under his forest, under his trees, right, to be able to bring other people to that, right, our people who are lost in the valleys of the shadow of death, being in position that he sustains us in, to be able to bring them to that side. right? And this is what we do when we teach, live videos. When we go out to camp, we're trying to bring our people out of that valley of the shadow of death and bring them to the valley of the shadow of life, right? Go ahead. You cut out, so
Con,
I just kind of finished that. Want me to keep reading on?
verse 7. Yeah, con.
Con. To open the blind eyes, to bring out the prisoners from prison, and them that sit in darkness out of the prison house.
So those that sitting in that shadow of darkness, man, that shadow of evil, we are sent out to open the eyes of them people to bring them back into the covenant, back unto the life of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai and the light, right, of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. So when we this lesson right here, just to sum it all up, man, we gotta remain operating in the light, right? Way more than we fall into the steps of darkness, right? So let's remain in the shadow of the Lord's protection rather than move and groove into the protection of Hashatan, which ultimately is going to lead to utter destruction, right?
Mm-hmm.
So remain in that light, man, as best as you can. Though we fall 7 times, man, we get up 8 and we serve the Lord again, right?
God, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So yeah, so the key point of this lesson, man, share this, whatever whoever you deem want to understand the lesson. You know what I'm saying? It's a good topic. We know what the valley of the shadow of death is, but we need to operate in the valley of the shadow of life, right? The churches and everything teaching in between identify what the shadow of death is, but they never tell us how to operate in the shadow of life, man, right? Which is very important for us to understand, right? And when you think upon that topic, just the title alone, different analogies are going to come to your remembrance, and you're going to be able to relay them in a wise manner, and that's going to be another tool to bring your people who are blind, operating in that darkness, to bring them to that the other side, man, that valley of life, But with that, I'm going to say shalom, all praise to the Most High, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, and with that, Kwam Yashala.
Kum
Kwam
Yashala.
Yashala.
Shalom.
Shalom, y'all.